why it's important to firefighters.
Well, of course, this is our annual 9/11 Walk to Remember. We've been doing it for, I can't remember how many years, but it's been close to 7 or 8 years. We had got up to 600 or 700 people. COVID hit, we kind of fell down just a little bit, but we're trying to build it back up. But it is important for firemen and all first responders and basically all Americans, just because of what happened on 9/11. 343 firemen were killed, and that's what we're walking to remember today. However, we're not going to forget the police officers, the EMS, and all the civilians that lost their lives also. But it's just something that we do every year to remember, and walking the little piece that we have to walk is nothing compared to what those guys had to deal with that day. So it's just our little way of paying tribute to the firefighters.
And remembering that tragic event is also a reminder that how dangerous it is every time you guys get a call.
That's correct. And you know, like I said, we just have to put ourselves in harm's way every day, and that's what we signed up to do. And basically, Anderson County Fire Department is all volunteer. So there are a couple of paid stations here, Williamston, Belton. They're kind of combination paid volunteer. However, most of your Anderson County firemen are all volunteers. So these guys that you see out on scenes are doing it on their own time, taking time away from their families to be out there, as well as putting themselves in harm's way to do it.
I'll bet. So, but you were there to give it.
Well, I'm trying to do my job.
Sure, you can't teach and work.
What's really hard is we have a new photographer.
First of all, remind everybody who you are.
I'm Darren Vaughn. I'm a lieutenant here at Rock Springs and also a lieutenant with the City of Belton Fire Department.
Now, how old were you when 9/11 happened?
I was in the 11th grade, so I can remember the place and the time that all this took place. I was actually in agriculture, FFA, in G. Stevens class. Actually, probably should have been in class, but I was watching football film, believe it or not, for the game on Friday night.
I was correct in my
And you said you carried the flag. Tell me about that.
So the game on that Friday night was, of course, postponed, and during that time we actually got to play on a Saturday, so pushed it back a day. Had this big ceremony, of course, there at the stadium. Stadium was packed. It gives me cold chills just talking about it. But so we're able to. I was one of the captains on the team, of the football team, and was able to run that flag out on the field that night, which was pretty powerful. Right after this happened.
And how long have you been doing this?
I started in 1996 here. My dad, who is, you can see off camera to my left, he's actually one of the longest standing firefighters in Anderson County with this fire department. So he's the one that got me into it. I don't know where to thank him or kill him for that, but so I've been doing it since 1996 here at Rock Springs Fire Department.
And how important is this event for you personally?
It just means a lot. I mean, you can look around out here at all the people. We don't know each other. You know, there's a lot of people that we do know because we are the fire community, but all of us don't know each other. So this brings everybody together. I mean, all races, creeds, religions, it all comes together right here for the greater good of this country and for us to remember what took place on that day.
And that catastrophe also is a reminder of how dangerous what you guys do every time you go out, right?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. And, you know, one of the biggest images that I have is when you go by a fire department and those boots are in that bay and those trucks are gone, because you never know if they're coming back. And that's the only thing that you would have technically is those boots left behind if they were to not come back again, you know, and their families don't know. All these volunteers that are out here and these paid guys, when they leave out that door when those tones drop, there's no idea, their family has no idea if they're coming back or not. And neither does the guy that left or the girl that left. They have no idea if they're coming back. And who else does that? I don't know a lot of people that do that in this country. Very powerful to see these men and women out here.
Tell everybody why this is an important event for you.
Well, it rings home for me because I've been in the Anderson County Fire Service since 1976. I've served everything from a fireman up to the chief's level. I was chairman of the Chiefs Advisory Board for many, many years. And like I say, the comment was made earlier that everybody remembers where they were. And I remember where I was. I was working a cattle sale for the agriculture department. And, you know, the story that a lot of people, one of the stories that highlights it for me, the first person killed at 9/11 that day at the Twin Towers was the New York City chaplain, Chaplain Michael Judge. He had just got on the scene, had already helped out some people and got got killed by falling debris. And the thing that's always stuck with me is his death certificate was 0001. And that story's kind of stuck with me. There's 1,000 other stories just like that, like was told about the gentleman filling out his retirement papers. But this is one thing that I guess probably as close as our country's been together in a long, long time. And it's a shame that it took something like that to bring us together. But I can't say enough for Rock Springs and Belton and Williamston and Honey Path and all the local fire departments for sponsoring this every year and bringing us all back together for a very worthy cause. And my hat's off to them. It speaks a lot about our community. I think our priorities we're all right.
Why did you get involved in this so many years ago? You said you've been doing this a long, long time.
I was kind of not by necessity. I was, when they started building Friendship Fire Department, where I still am a member, I was 6 years old. And then the way the system was set up, the community was responsible for building the fire department. And the Fire Commission, which still operates the system today, gave one pumper and 19 sets of turnout gear, and I think 9 radios to hear what was going on. But there's actually a picture of me somewhere riding what I know is an old scoop pan behind a tractor, because I remember my daddy, when he'd get off work at his regular job at 4 o'clock every afternoon, all the men and the ladies too around our community would go to the fire station and help them work to build the fire station. And it's been there since day one. My daddy was in the fire service. He was assistant chief at Friendship Fire Department, and like I say, I've been in it for a long time.
You could have done something and made some money. This is all volunteer. What is it about the volunteer spirit of this group?
Well, that's what people don't realize. They come and ask me all the time, people from all across the state and all across the country, about our fire service. We're the fourth or fifth largest volunteer fire department in the country. With 800, last time I checked, about 865 volunteers. It's probably a little more than that now. The citizen, sometimes we don't realize what a gift we're getting. We do this for 6 or 8 meals. Right across the river, Greenville County, who has paid firemen, is 54 meals. But and the fire station is not only the fire station, it's the center of a lot of community, especially out where I live, out in the Friendship community. I mean, our fire station was built when a gentleman and his wife's house burnt right below where our fire station's at now. And this station here, Rock Springs, was the closest fire station in operation to come. And I think the next month we started building Friendship Fire Department. They lost everything they had.